All right, hello, good evening. Today is December 14th, 2020, and this is Kate Birch, and we have with us all of our FHCI supervisors who have participated in or watched or waited with bated breath for the initial results. These are not the final published results. There is more work to be done, but we felt it very important to get this information out right away. Determining the safety, effects, and efficacy of Novus CV1M in humans for coronavirus disease prevention and treatment. This is a real-time, real incidence, real application of prophylaxis in a real epidemic. Okay, so these are our numbers. It was 1,169 total registrants, which represented 348 families. Our 2-week follow-up, we had 803 2-week, and that includes our supervisors who had a different follow-up form, and it also includes those who did not take the remedy, who identified they didn't take the remedy. And that represents 251 families, which is 72% of the total, right? And then in the 3-month follow-up, we got about 40% of the total registrants completed the 3-month, and 45% of those, let's see, 159 families, 49% of, so almost 50%. And then as we go in deeper, I want to just remind us all of what we're doing with homeopathy, with infectious disease, and with homeoprophylaxis, and just bring forth some of these concepts, because we're going to see this pattern going through the results as we go forward. The first is the circle of disease. So in approving, it's not an infective process that gets activated, right? There may be transformation in the individual that happens, but when you have a nosode, which is an infectious agent, it calls upon the immune system to pull forth immunological, what we call exoneration route, you could say, or a discharge route as the individual moves through that. So there's a prodromal period, a chill, fever, antibody, discharge, eruptions, and resolution. And if you were to take this on a straight line, you would see the same bell curve of disease has a similar pattern. There's a prodromal period, something's coming, what is that? And then it's coming up to a peak. This is like the fever and the fervor. And then at some point, there's collectively an immune response that happens, and you move through. And this, what we're doing with the nosode, we are preemptively saying, okay, we're going to dive down into the story of this disease, take it, learn from it, and potentially there's a mirror response that's happening for the greater collective. And I can just say that as we've been moving through doing this proving, we're like, each one of us through our bodies and our lives on the research team has been experiencing some of this process. And so I just want to end with this slide, because today was an amazing eclipse, and the corona of the sun behind the moon, this is not from this year, but anyways, in the darkness comes the light. I just want to open it up to our supervisors so they have an opportunity to say something.
So this was a lovely experience, great experience, and to see it from being a participant in the study and filling out the forms to, combining everything together, putting it all together, all the hours, and meeting people, and just a wonderful way to see it all go through every stage and come to fruition. So thank you.
Mm-hmm.
From the beginning, I had no idea what it was entailing. So having different partners, learning how to work together, seeing how the different tabs, we went from age group to list symptoms, how we moved around, having two different windows open, different charts coming together, then seeing from, let's put it this way, it's like, to me, it looked like a big funnel from everything on the top, then the next week was this, then next week was this, and the next week was that, and how it came down to now what it is that you showed was amazing, just coming from all these random words, all these random ages, all these random numbers. We have to make it 1170. No, it's got to be 770. No, it was so much. It's like my whole head was like, okay, what are we doing now? No, it's this one. No, it's over here. It was enlightening, and it was really, and I think I was telling Amy, it was like, it's amazing to see what everybody's feeling. Everyone, and then how most people had this symptom, and as if I got to know all those people. I had no idea who they were. I felt like familiar with them. It was really wild just to see the different families, to see different people in Canada, seeing different people in Wisconsin, seeing different people in Florida. I'm like, it's watching the human being become one. It was amazing. So yeah, that was my experience.
Hi. Well, everything that Gabriella just said and Cheryl said, for sure. I mean, just jumping in and not knowing what would be involved, and I loved working with everybody. I mean, the feeling of colleagues is incredible. And what else? The visual piece of this, and going from the grinding of looking, just even visually looking at the material, and I'm just now, as I sit here, realizing how that, well, it took me from, it's like passing through the eye of the needle, which is what I'm feeling about this whole time. And it's an anchor. This has been such an anchor for me, but there's also some parallel between that visual grind that shifted into more of a letting forth of information and relaxation that came, and then how the information started to just reveal itself. And all of this feels like a parallel for me in everything that's happening right now and in this time of shift. So it's been beautiful, and it's been a real anchor and point of focus. So thank you.
This has been such an amazing opportunity for us to work together, people from different schools, different ages. We have, I think Sarah, right? Coming to work with baby, breastfeeding, a whole range of ages, different persuasions, different personalities. And there were so many moments of alignment where when we converse, we start to see, wow, this is the truth between us. And it would not have been possible to just introspect that truth. It's only in the context of conversation that we recognize ourselves in the other, or the other in ourselves. And I think this is something that is true. I mean, it's also reflected in actually the proving symptoms, like this really astonishing symptom, glassy eyes that came up, such a small little symptom of such a small category, totally unexpected, I think, for the coronavirus. Glassy eyes 6 times, both in the 2-week follow-up and the first dose and the triple dose. And what is it about glassy eyes? And yesterday I suggested to Kate, maybe we call this the shattered mirror, because the eyes are the windows to the soul. The eyes, when you have glassy eyes, it's almost like you can look at the other and see a mirror. So what are we looking here? What we're looking at the terrain that we're in, and we're seeing ourselves in that terrain and recovering. I wrote to a friend once, after every session of work, I have such heavy symptoms. I can't meet you. I can't talk to you because I'm totally destroyed, especially at the end of it. Before, I used to be able to schedule a buffer of about 2 hours and then see a client. As we got into the last phase, the whole day is gone after working. So it's an opportunity to see myself in those symptoms, and also to do a little bit of work in cleaning up the terrain that we're all in. And for that, I'm very grateful because it helps me to recognize in the embodiment that boundary between self and other, the self and the collective, so that they're not indistinguishable.
Thank you, Joanne. That is so much like we've been also bottled up with this information. There's there was even a bottleneck of it because there was so many people working that for one mind, like I lost it a few times because I'm trying to manage 12 people who are lost in these pages and pages of, so, and then to I guess it's to crystallize it, right? To crystallize and crystallize and crystallize it. So what we have right here. But go ahead, Crystal, you're next.
Yeah, speaking of crystallizing it,
Yes.
I feel as if this experience is, parallels, yes, but also it's more holographic to the greater collective. What we see in the greater collective, we have seen it in this compilation of registrants and the data. What I found to be just breathtaking in a very awe-inspiring way is to witness not just the data as it unfolded, but week by week as this group came together, or whatever the group was for that particular work session, the sort of click that happened with each person as they came into alignment with what was being presented, what work was being asked of them, and what they were pulling together as a result of that work. It just is so inspiring to see how this group of people was brought together. I absolutely believe in the divine alignment that we are all here for a time such as this. And you've heard me say it before, but I absolutely believe that those who've gone through, well, not just collectively as a global conscious, but as holographically, we've just gone through a rebirth and a reset. And I feel we're at that turning point just in how we are metabolizing the data and then articulating it out to the world, and what a gift it already is and the gift that awaits.
It's really been an honor to be a part of this. I'm so happy that Marcy brought me to all of you. I felt like this was the most amazing remedy that I have ever taken. It's really been a transformational remedy. And then to be with this group during this time period, I feel like has been so grounding and amazing for me. To be with such like-minded individuals is such a breath of fresh air, because I often wonder if I'm alone, in the way that I think and feel. So it's been really nice being with all these lovely ladies, and also being a part of this research. Having a background in biology, I've never actually been a part of research other than at school. So I was really excited to be a part of this, and just want to thank you all. You all mean so much to me, and I just wanted you to know that. Thank you.
Thanks, Sarah.
Thanks so much for allowing me to help with all of this. It really does feel like an honor, and it felt so special to be able to see this research unfold, something that I really believe in so wholeheartedly. And I feel really grateful to have been a part of it and to have met all of you. I really enjoyed getting up at 6:30 and hopping online and working for several hours so early in the morning. It was really healing in a way,
to just know that this remedy, this Nozode, is out there and available, and that all of this information is being compiled and is going to be released so that more and more people can partake. So super important. Thanks, and I'm so glad to have met all of you.
I wasn't going to participate in this. Well, not that I wasn't going to take the remedy and participate, but I wasn't going to be filling in numbers. I don't know anything about these things. And then there was a desperate text. Can you jump on in? We need somebody today. And I fell in love with all the people. And I can't really follow what all you lovely women have said. I just, it's like I can't say anything better than what you've said. What I think research has done for me is it's like a roller coaster. I feel the frustration of this epidemic, and then I get to work with how Crystal says we never really knew when, and Cheryl said it too, however we were just assigned rooms to work together, and then we find our group, and then it's actually fun amidst the frustration of where's that one person that's now missing? Where did they go? And but it's just been really beautiful to see this come together. And what I would like to say for all of you that asked for a summary of what to say is we have over 1,000 people that have taken this remedy. Yes, we haven't heard from all of them, but everybody has benefited from it some way. And we have, to date, we don't really know of very many people that have contracted COVID that have taken it. And we have an ER nurse, we have an EMT, and we had doctors in our group. So to me, the nuts and bolts of it is I think it works, and I think that's what you can tell your clients. And yes, there are some immune responses, fevers, but maybe all of us need one. Now, for me, it was a curative remedy. I'm a grump at heart, and this makes me much happier. So it was really good for me to participate also in the findings and reading through the families and where they've come from and what they've experienced. So it's been a really a good thing. And we have to live life forwards, but we understand it backwards. So looking at the research now makes so much more sense than when we all started pushing numbers around. So thank you, Kate, for being as impulsive is the word, as spontaneous as you are.
I just want to thank all of you who really did this work so intensely, and for all of us. Just listening to each of you speak about the experience was so inspiring tonight. I feel like it was contagious, and I feel really kind of excited and about this Nozode all over again. Just like it reminds me of how I felt when I first took it back in, I think it was February, and how it just completely transformed my experience of being in fear and terror like the rest of the world into stepping into just feeling empowered and relaxed. And it touches something very deep, and I think a lot of my clients who have taken it have felt that way, just felt very excited about taking it. When they go to take it, it's almost like a ritual. They're taking it together as a family, and they're looking forward to it. And I feel like it's a real gift, actually. And so thank you all for doing this work, for all of your dedication and time. I know it was a lot.
I want to thank Kate on behalf of all of us for the incredible courage in taking on this project, an unknown remedy right before the coronavirus, the epidemic takes off, and the vision in overseeing the whole process, and especially the drive in doing this week after week, hour after hour, when it's really intense.
Thank you. I can just say that the process inside of me is that to varying degrees, we've been struck with huge contradictions about what is life and living and what is the garbage out there. And, in my quest to be a free and sovereign individual, Like really, I was in a 10-day silent meditation in India when the epidemic was announced, and I was like, okay, this meditation is, I am moving on to like the next phase of my life, you know. I've already done all those books and all that research and that, and when I got out, there was like, they gave the phone backs. There was 159 messages on the WhatsApp group and this epidemic, and I was like, oh my goodness. And I knew we had some background pieces that we had already sort of skeletons that we had built within the organization. There's nobody else in the world that could have done what we did. It was all there. We had our families, we had our membership, we had, you know, the technology. So if in anything, it was just like I was called to be that person to do this work because of the pain that I feel living in this world and all that bullshit. And it's so far away from what we're, love, humanity, our genetics, health. I mean, anyways, so I guess I had to do the work. And thanks everybody for believing in it, and everybody just picking up their string, picking up their thing, and just participating in the way that you've all done that. So thanks.
We encourage you to make peace with everyone who opposes you and with everyone whom you oppose, not only because you cannot insist on their yielding to your perspective, but because their opposing perspectives is of tremendous benefit to you. You see, because of your exposure to what you perceive as their wrong or bad or unwanted behavior or perspective, you have given birth to an improved situation. And just as they help the problem side of the equation, it comes into focus. They help the solution side of the equation to come into focus also, and that solution waits for you. Through your daily meditation process, you will come into alignment with those solutions and creations that are the solution, and from there you will feel appreciation for everyone who contributed to its becoming, but there was a different one. So basically what this is saying is that we need to not look at the problem. The problem gives us the answer to what we want, but by keep looking at the problem, we're just going to enforce the problem rather than the solution.
These are some of the words that people said at the end of their questionnaires. And I just wanted to share this with everybody here. Thank you for being with us, and let's keep going.